My name is Jacob Boyd, and I'm going to be presenting to you guys today the San Jose Sharks versus the Anaheim Ducks game preview. But before getting into that today, I kind of have a little announcement in terms of what Mike Greer and the San Jose Sharks have done in terms of the training camp roster. They're kind of dwindling it down a little bit. And I wanted to kind of get into that first by telling you guys who those players are and what to expect where they're going to be going, but then get into the actual game preview of the Sharks versus Ducks. So getting right into it, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what is going to transpire here. So right now I have pulled up, the San Jose Sharks have announced training camp roster cut downs. So first and foremost, the people that are going, or the players that are going back to the junior league, their respective juniors teams, are Mason Beaupitt. He's a goalie. He was in training camp. He was the one in the rookie face-off where he wasn't as good or sharp as, Georgi Romanov or Magnus Krona. So Mason Beaupitt was sent back to Wanatachi of the Wild of the WAHL. He's going to be going back to his team so that he could start practicing over there. Next, you have Luca Cagnoni. Luca was, really doing good in terms of, defensive play, showing offensive upside. But I think the Sharks sent him back to the juniors, to his junior team, the Portland Winterhawks of the WHL, just because they wanted him to get acclimated to his team and, maybe new players. It's not that he did bad in training camp. It's not that he did bad in the rookie face-off. He did great. He just needs more work in the WHL, and then hopefully next year show what he can do. But I would definitely follow Luca Cagnoni's team, the Portland Winterhawks, and see what he has to offer them this season. Next, you have Jake Furlong of the Halifax Mooseheads of the QMJHL. You're going to want to follow Halifax this year with Jake. He did have a poor rookie face-off and a poor showing at the first preseason game. Really want to see improvements in his breakout passing. His defensive play was fine, a little bit not as strong like I would like yet. So he's going to need to develop in that area. But his offensive game is really strong as an offensive defenseman. But hopefully he can improve on that defensive end in terms of, being stronger in front of the net and making that cleaner breakout passes. But take a look to see what Jake Furlong does with the Halifax Mooseheads. Next, we got the people going back to the AHL in Ethan Frisch. And let's see here. Ethan Frisch is a defenseman. He's going back to, I think, with the Barracuda, Roman Keenal, Connor McEachern, Bradley Merrick, Anthony Vincent, and Beck Warm. And then the ones that are being released is just Felix Gannon from his tryout. So he did not make the team. But I did think Felix Gannon was, a pretty good player in terms of, just being a tryout player. I think he does get a shot somewhere. But he's going back to the Q as well to try to develop and see if he could get, looked at again from another team next year. But that means that the Sharks training camp total players are now 54, with these players being removed from camp. And that means that there's 33 forwards left. There's 16 defensemen and 5 goalies that are still in camp. So, we'll look to see what happens after this preseason game tonight and what that means for some of the people or the players moving forward. But yeah, so that kind of rounds out, the camp roster update in terms of, who left the team and who got released. And then, the people that are still on the team. I'm going to kind of go over a few of those in the game tonight. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. All right. So the Sharks lineup tonight against the Ducks is completely different from the other night where the Sharks beat the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a much more AHL heavy lineup. Now, there are going to be a few notable names that you're going to want to watch, and there are a few NHL players on the squad as well. But notably, the goaltending is going to be the starter is going to be Mackenzie Blackwood. He might be followed up by Georgi Romanov at some point tonight, but Mackenzie Blackwood is one that you're going to want to look at because he's the one that is going to be fighting for a job or the starting job in goal. So Mackenzie Blackwood tonight is the starter. He's supposed to be the one that a lot of Sharks fans think that might be the number one goalie tonight or the number one goalie moving into the season. But keep an eye on him because he's battling with Capo Kakinen for that number one job. So that's one that I would be looking for. Next, you got Nico Sturm. He's going to be, our fourth line center coming out this year in the NHL. He's going to be in the lineup tonight. So good for Nico. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring. He did well in training camp. He's just, lunch pail mentality. He's just going to go hard every shift, and that's what you love about him. So look for Sturm on probably the fourth line. He might move up tonight just because it's a little less of an NHL lineup, but we'll see where he gets slotted. Next, you have Kasper Halttunen. Great kid. He showed off in the rookie face-off tournament. He's been showing out in camp with his shot. Everybody's getting to learn about this kid. He's going to shoot the lights out of the puck. He's going to shoot every time he gets the puck. And that's what, the Sharks fans are going to want to see from him. He has probably one of the better shots on the team. So look for Kasper Halttunen. He's our second round pick. Basically our third pick, but in the second round. So look for Halttunen tonight to see what he can do. Next, you have Fabian Zetterlund. He's going to be vying for a fourth line winger role on the Sharks. Right now, I think he is leading that left wing spot on the fourth line, but you never know. I hope that he can do well in these preseason games because he's going to need to do that to make the team. He did get, a 2-year, $1.45 million contract. So I look to see that he will be out there in the preseason and make the NHL squad. So look for Fabian out there and how he does. Next, you have Ryan Carpenter. Ryan Carpenter's kind of like an AHL, NHL tweener guy where he's going to get probably some looks in the NHL if somebody gets hurt and things of that nature. But he was on the Sharks originally. He was on the Vegas Golden Knights in their playoff runs a few years ago and played well on their fourth line. But Ryan Carpenter is probably going to be in the AHL this year. But look forward to seeing what he can do in a preseason game because in training camp, he's just looked okay. Nothing out of the ordinary, but he's never been that guy where he's flashy or anything like that. But look for Ryan Carpenter to see what he can do. Oscar Lindblom, this is going to be an opportunity for him to show if he can beat out maybe Fabian Zetterlund, for that fourth line winger spot. He is a good penalty killer, so, he might have an edge, but, I think Fabian Zetterlund could do the same thing. But I just look for what Oscar Lindblom can do. Can he, put the puck in the net tonight? Is he going to show his penalty kill skills? What is he going to show us as this game gets underway? Next, you have Jacob Peterson. Jacob Peterson is a very interesting player. He really came on strong for the NHL San Jose Sharks last year. He kind of got a call up, at the end of the season and really played well. And I really look forward to what Jacob Peterson can bring to the Sharks. He's another guy that's vying for that fourth line winger role, and I think that Peterson can provide some unique offensive skill, but not only that, he does the right plays. So again, he's going to be vying for that third, fourth line spot. I don't think he will make it. I think he'll be a Barracuda this season, with the Barracuda this season, and then get some call-ups, here and there. And then hopefully he can show what he can do. But have a good preseason, Jacob Peterson, and you may be on the squad. So hopefully he can do well. Next, you have Leon Gawenke. He's a defenseman. He's actually trying to get that last and final, NHL defensive spot on that third D-line pairing. A lot of people love his offensive upside in terms of being an offensive D-man. And, I'm hoping to see, what can he do in the defensive zone? Can he work the power play like most people, pundit writers are saying that a lot of scouts like him doing that. So look for him on the power play. Look for him to see how he does in the defensive zone. Look for his break, how well he breaks out. I'm interested to see this kid. And he's had a pretty decent training camp as well. Next, you have Gannon Larocque. He's the only player that the Sharks played in the last game. He's back in tonight. He had an okay game last game. Really wasn't too high, too low. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything crazy good. But I look for Gannon. He's one of those players that just needs ice time. He missed all of last year pretty much except for like 4 games. And look for Gannon to really, come out and prove something in his second game. Next, you have Mario Ferraro. He's going to probably be on our top D pairing. Not much to say about Mario. He's just, a steady, try-hard kind of defenseman that you hope that I feel needs to play better defensively. And we'll see what Mario can do tonight. Next, you have Tanner Kaspick. He's kind of a left winger, probably an HL guy. Maybe gets bumped out with not making this roster. I haven't really seen much of him in practices or training camp. We'll see what he can do tonight. Next, you have Marc-Edouard Vlasic, probably on the line with, probably on the second D-line pairing. And look for Marc-Edouard Vlasic to be kind of that steady defensive presence. I did see in training camp that he was stepping up a lot in the offensive zone. Kind of nice to see. I haven't seen Marc-Edouard Vlasic do that since his first couple months or first couple of years into the league. So looking forward to seeing if Marc-Edouard can bring some type of offensive game that we're going to need for the Sharks. Next, you have Scott Sabourin. He was signed by Greer in the offseason kind of early, but kind of as an AHL physical winger. And I just wonder what his game is. I only seen him in training camp and the scrimmages that they had, but nothing stood out to me except his big body and physical presence. So I hope to see some type of, offensive ability. Can he chip the puck in deep and go hard on the forecheck? I want to see what he can do. Next, I have Ethan Cardwell. This player has been up and down the Sharks lineup in terms of training camp, scrimmages. He's been down in the lineup. He's been up in the lineup. I don't know where exactly he fits in at the moment. I'm interested to see where Mike Grier slots him in. Is he going to be higher up in the lineup? Is he going to be lower as a winger? I'm just curious to see what Mike Grier can do or is going to do with him. Next, you have Mitchell Russell, kind of one of those guys that is vying for an AHL spot, not going to be in the NHL, but I want to see what he can do. Is he more of a skilled guy? Is he more of a physical presence type third, fourth line checking player? Wanting to see what Mitchell Russell can do in the first preseason game for himself. Next, you got Nick Cicek, kind of like that AHL steady presence defenseman, where he may get a few call-ups in the season if the Sharks defense is not doing well or if they're, hurt. So I wonder, is Cicek going to provide any offensive upside? I know that he has that steady Eddie kind of defensive mentality, which is great to see. He kind of keeps people out of the front of the net, kind of a tough and rugged defender. So that's kind of Nick Cicek's game. I wonder what he's going to bring tonight. Next, you have Kevin Labanc. This guy is going to have to have a good preseason. He did have a good training camp. I've loved every bit of his game. He's working hard. I notice him out there on the ice. He's shooting and scoring at will. I'm hoping that he can have a comeback year after watching him at training camp. So this is his first game. Let's see what he can do. I know he's going to be on that right half wall on the power play. So look to see him on the power play as well. But I really want to see him 5-on-5 and see him back check. That's one thing that I want to see Kevin Labanc do. He was doing it all scrimmage, long in training camp. So good for him. Next, you have Mikael Granlund. He's kind of the newcomer in the Erik Karlsson trade. So Granlund will kind of be under control all the time. That's what he was doing in training camp. He was very, he knows his body. He knows where to be on the rink. He has the ability he just is a passer. He's not much of a shoot first guy. He's a pass first guy, but I would like to see him shoot more, but I do think his passing ability, is much more, is much higher end for him. But look for him to set up on the power play. Look for him to set up his teammates on 5-on-5, probably on the top line. Next, you have Brandon Coe. Brandon Coe was up and down all training camp. He had not the best of years last year with the AHL Barracuda. I'm looking for Brandon to go off of that rookie faceoff. I thought he had a pretty decent rookie faceoff. Not crazy amount of scoring. He did have a goal, but I'm looking forward to him to shine tonight. I hope that he can get on the score sheet and prove to Sharks fans and to the coaching staff that his big body, supporting play kind of winger is going to get the job done for him. Next, you have Nikolai Knizhov. He's one that, is vying for, that third defensive pairing in the NHL lineup. If not, he will have to be put on waivers. That means that he has to go through all 32 or all the NHL teams to not get picked up by. And then he could go to the AHL Barracuda if he makes it through waivers. But this could be one where they might healthy scratch him a few games early on and go that route. But either way, I want to see how he does in the preseason. And I'm really looking forward to Knizhov because I think this guy has what it takes in terms of being an NHL third line defensive pairing. And let's see what he can do. I hope he can shine. Next, you have William Eklund. William Eklund is obviously also vying for a spot in the lineup. I think he's going to be pretty high up in the lineup tonight, just by who's playing. But You're going to want to see William Eklund on the power play, 5-on-5, back checking, forward checking. He should be doing it all. And I look forward to William getting his first NHL stint. And yeah, I think all Sharks fans are looking for this former first-round pick to really step up this year and make it an NHL squad. Last but not least, you have Shakir Mukhamadullin. I really feel that this guy has had the best training camp, best rookie face-off for a defenseman. And Sharks fans are going to love this kid. He can do the best breakouts. He's a big body, physical presence. He's going to hit people. He's going to get people out of the front of the net. But look for this guy to even be on some power play time. So I am super hopeful that this guy, which was the biggest part of the Timo Meier trade. So a lot of Sharks fans, if you're interested in, who did we get for Timo Meier? Well, this kid, Shakir Mukhamadullin, is that guy. So look forward to seeing him. All Sharks fans should look for number 85 on the rink. He's going to be that big bodied, I think he's 6'5", maybe even 6'6" defenseman. So look forward to seeing him on the ice tonight. A few players to note on the other side. You do have somewhat of a mixed lineup, not very many, standouts in terms of NHL players, but, they do have Scott Arrington playing, Ryan Strome, the former Barracuda in Andrew Agazzino. Sam Carrick has got a few games in the NHL. They have Olin Zellweger, defenseman. He's going to be playing tonight. And then let's see here. Who else do they got? Frank Vetrano. And then their goalies, you might actually get to see a little Alex Stalock. He's not going to start tonight, I don't think. I think it's Callie Klang, which might get the start. But you may see Alex Stalock come in for him. But yeah, that kind of goes to, who the Sharks players will be playing tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. Both teams are 1-1 in terms of preseason. I think the Ducks players, they're suiting up like 6 different players that have already played a preseason game and only one for the Sharks, but I don't think that really matters. I think that you're going to see a competitive game. I think that the Sharks, I think that this is more of an even match with, team player wise. So I look for this to be a tighter game than, the first preseason game that the Sharks played against Vegas. So anyways, that's it for me. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I would love for you guys to just, comment in the comment section below on what you guys want to see from me moving forward. If I can improve anything, I really appreciate that. But if not, that's okay. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Again, my name is Jacob Boyd with Hello Sharks Fans. Thank you so much for stopping by. Peace.